Hey, this is Nicole Johnson. It is Friday, October 13th, 2023. First thing I need to do is apologize for the absolute atrocious quality of the video. I'm on my computer. I'm in a hotel room and I have no idea how to get this to work. The lighting, even with the lighting, it doesn't help. But I'm in a hotel room in Eilat. I arrived here late last night so that I could meet up with and interview victims of the Hamas incursion into Israel, which was just 1 week ago tomorrow morning. So I'm here with a crew from an NGO. It's CBN Israel, Christian Broadcasting Network. They have an outreach here, or an organization in Israel that brings humanitarian aid. So I'm here to do some work with them. But for those of you who are unfamiliar with Israel, Eilat is the southernmost city in the country, and it borders Egypt and Jordan, and it's right on the Red Sea. It's a vacation destination, and it's full of hotels and attractions and really hot weather. Gorgeous red mountains on the Jordanian side. Amazing. And the snorkeling here is great. A lot of Israelis travel here. They go through to Taba, Egypt, and have this awesome vacations on the beach. But the people who are here right now are not here for a vacation. I just want to describe to you what I saw when we got to one of the hotels where there's a lot of refugees staying there. And it's like first thing that was odd was when we arrived at the hotel, there were so many people outside the hotel and they were just milling around. And these are people who had already checked in and slept there. So it's not like they were waiting for their check-in time or something, but they were there like in groups outside, looking slightly lost, a little edgy, hugging each other, wiping tears, shaking, speaking in hushed tones. A lot of them have dogs with them. Then also I noticed a lot of laundry racks outside, and somebody explained to me that it's because people didn't have a lot to pack, so they constantly have to do laundry there at the hotel. These are people who were evacuated from, most of them from one specific kibbutz called Reim. And many of them spent, as they told us in their stories, many of them spent 24 hours or more in a shelter that's only meant to keep out bombs from rockets from falling on them. And the shelters are able to withstand rockets, but they don't lock from the inside. You cannot lock yourself in there. And they were there for 24 hours trying to keep out infiltrators. So they described to me how, some of them were holding the door closed from the inside for hours. It was unbelievable. One woman told me that she was on the phone with her daughter for 3 hours after terrorists got into the house and killed the girl's father, the woman's ex-husband. The daughter texted her, "Mom, Dad's been murdered. Help." Then the terrorists wrote on the wall in lipstick, "Al-Qassam fighters do not kill children." That's one of the military wings of Hamas. And they left the two kids, ages 10 and 8, one of them with autism, next to their dead father's body. Now, on the Gaza side, the Israeli bombing continues. Nearly half of the population of 2 million is displaced already. Gaza's been under complete lockdown, meaning no food, no water, no fuel, electricity running out, no internet. Since Sunday or Monday, this morning, the Israeli army called on Gazans in the north of the Gaza Strip to head south to specific areas that are safe zones. 1.1 million people to get up and go, and they gave them to a certain time. But a spokesperson for Israel's prime minister's office said that Hamas is actually instructing civilians to stay put and is preventing them from leaving. So we just got this in actually from the IDF just this evening, that the Israel Defense Forces said that released a statement saying that it conducted raids in the Gaza Strip in an effort to eliminate the threat of terrorists and weapons in the area and locate hostages. IDF soldiers searched and collected evidence that would assist in the effort to locate hostages. In addition, soldiers thwarted terrorist cells and infrastructure located in the area, including a Hamas cell that fired anti-tank missiles toward Israeli territory. And aside from that, this is the only news that we've heard of hostages since last Saturday, when around 130 were ferried over from Israeli territory into Palestinian territory. And that includes also foreigners, not just Israelis, but people from Thailand. There's several Americans. So this is the first we've heard, is that there had been some kind of IDF operation to get intelligence on where the hostages are located. Right now, the death toll in Gaza is, at last I checked, it's 1,500, but it could have already risen. But a lot of world leaders are saying that no matter what Hamas did, it doesn't justify the use of lethal force, and distinction without proportionality as far as the Palestinian population is concerned. Many people are also saying all of Hamas is gone or hiding, so it's only civilians that might be killed. So there's a real humanitarian situation, a real, astronomical loss of life there as well, and humanitarian situation that the world is going to have to face after this is over. Meanwhile, on the northern front, for Israel, which is the furthest you can get from where I am right now, there is still not outright escalation, but there is definitely back and forth between Hezbollah and Israel. It's been going on for almost every day since Saturday. The expectation that it's going to boil over up in the north, but it hasn't quite gone over the edge. Well, this is the beginning of Shabbat, here, according to the Jewish times, they go by the night before. So, the Friday night is the beginning of Shabbat. It begins in the evening and goes throughout the day. So this is very interesting. Prime Minister Netanyahu is supposed to there was just announced, breaking news, that he's going to be giving a speech tonight. And, with Israel being the Jewish state and abiding by Jewish laws, even the Israeli airline does not fly on Shabbat and on Jewish holidays. And the prime minister pretty much never gives a speech on a holiday or on Shabbat unless it is an occasion like this where, an emergency. So for him to actually announce that he's going to give a speech tonight probably means he's going to announce something very significant. So stay tuned to see what that is going to be. Tomorrow, I'll be returning to the hotels where the survivors are staying, and we'll be speaking with more of them and getting more interviews, more stories, see what's happening, what they went through, what they need. There were piles of donations of toys and clothes outside the hotel that had been delivered, and there were signs for workshops for kids and also counseling available for people who needed it. So they're trying, other people are coming in and try to support the people who are experiencing loss and grief. So anyway, so tomorrow we'll go get more on that. But I just want to thank you very much for tuning in. I know a lot of you are putting some questions in the comments, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten to all of them. I honestly haven't even had time to read them all. Occasionally somebody will message me and say, like, answer that question or check your comments. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm also posting lives on Facebook more often than on YouTube at the moment. And those are more off the cuff, and I have different information in there, more about like what's happening like right in the moment. This is here, and I'm trying to give like a summary to bring you up to speed for the day. Oh, so speaking of that, I should address the fact that I did say yesterday that today, October 13th, Friday, was going to be a day of rage, where Hamas called for demonstrations, pro-Palestinian demonstrations, support Gaza around the world. And there have been a lot of demonstrations in cities around the world, but here in Israel, it was pretty quiet as far as I can tell, though I was disconnected from the news today, but there was nothing huge to report. Right over there, across the border in Jordan, there were some big protests, but didn't spill over into Israel anyway. So anyway, that's the update for now. I will be back with more, but thank you very much for tuning in.